Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Raw. This is the go-home show for Monday Night Raw, and what a show we have in store for you guys. It literally could be the best show of the go-home show era, and there he is making his Raw debut, ladies and gentlemen. It will be CM Punk, as he will be teaming up with Imperium with Gunther, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser to take on the team of Seth Rollins, Wade Barrett, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, known as DIY. But this must be a surreal moment to see CM Punk back on the main roster, back here on Monday Night Raw. We all know the past of CM Punk, the man that had a lot of bad things certainly to say about WWE, his walk out of the company and everything like that. But last year he came back. He was in an NXT for a little bit, won the NXT Championship, had some marquee matches along the way. Even last year Survivor Series took on Triple H in a one-on-one contest. If CM Punk were to win, he would go on to basically challenge for the NXT Championship anytime he pleased. Well, obviously CM Punk would go on to win, and then at NXT TakeOver in your house, he would say, "Hey, this is my opportunity. I want the match now." And after Carmelo Hayes beat Braun Breaker at that time to become the new NXT Champion, CM Punk would come out, challenge Carmelo Hayes, use his opportunity, and go on to defeat him. And CM Punk would go on to have one of the longest reigns in the series history there in NXT, recently losing his championship matchup inside of Elimination Chamber, where Kenny Omega became the new NXT champion. And then the NXT afterwards, we would see Wade Barrett get involved in that matchup where we saw Seth Rollins, but CM Punk versus Kenny Omega in a rematch for the NXT Championship. Wade Barrett would make his presence known and distract CM Punk enough to where Kenny Omega would walk out still NXT Champion. And Wade Barrett, he would come out the next week and say, "Hey, this is stemming from a long time ago when you essentially took over the Nexus, even changed the name to it to the new Nexus, and changed the new members and everything like that, and essentially cost me my own job there on SmackDown at that time back in the day." But there is a lot of history between Wade Barrett and CM Punk, and those two go at it one-on-one live at Backlash this Sunday, live on pay-per-view. And talking about on pay-per-view, Gunther there on the left will be in action as he takes on Seth frickin' Rollins one-on-one. He hasn't been too happy with that matchup there where Seth Rollins defeated Gunther in a tables matchup. Gunther wants a normal wrestling matchup, and he's going to get that matchup live at Backlash, and we'll see who the better professional wrestler will be. Will it be Gunther, or will it be Seth frickin' Rollins? As now we wait for the challengers to make their way down to the ring. You got Seth frickin' Rollins making his way down to the ring. Like I mentioned, Seth Rollins and Gunther go at it this Sunday live at Backlash. And will this be the end of this rivalry between both men, or is this just another chapter in this series? At one time, they were challenging each other for the United States Championship. That's when Seth Rollins was the United States Champion. Gunther would take that away from him, actually, at that time. And Gunther would hold on to the championship for a month or two before dropping it in a fatal four-way matchup where we would see AJ Styles walk out winner in that matchup. So certainly there is definitely a storied past between both men, certainly back and forth, and they want to be the top guy here on Monday Night Raw, and they're kind of jockeying for position. And certainly Roman Reigns is the top guy. He has that World Heavyweight Championship, but there's a lot of superstars saying, "Hey, I'm next in line with that World Heavyweight Championship opportunity." And certainly it's going to be very interesting when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, because there's after Backlash, you know, we don't know who walks out World Heavyweight Champion. We know it's going to be someone from the Bloodline because it's Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, but it's just one of those things that we just got to wait for the end of that matchup. It's a tribal combat matchup as we wait for the next competitor to make their way down to the ring, ladies and gentlemen. Like I mentioned, a massive, massive night, and there is DIY, ladies and gentlemen. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, part of the DIY way. Big family for the DIY way. Tommaso Ciampa, Gargano, Indy Hartwell, Miss Wrestling herself, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis. Big time family. Tommaso Ciampa, Gargano coming back over these last couple months and certainly looking to climb back into title contention. And when we heard about this, that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, I thought this was perfect because certainly you have Imperium on the other side that are literally one of the best tag teams of former tag team champions here on Monday Night Raw. So I think there could be potential, maybe DIY versus Imperium down the line, which I would love to see those two tag teams. Certainly very well could be the best against the best there. Certainly DIY, former NXT tag team champions, Imperium, multi-time tag team champions. So I believe there's definitely potential. But now we witness Wade Barrett making his way down to the ring. Got himself a suit out here tonight. It's bound to get very, very crazy. And I cannot wait to see how this goes. Wade Barrett in action for the very first time here, at least here on Monday Night Raw. We saw him in a match on NXT against his former protege of the first ever season of NXT, that being Chris Jericho, and Wade Barrett would put down Chris Jericho. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a tremendous way, a hectic way as well to start us off here. It's going to be an all-out war, ladies and gentlemen. So much tension between all 8 members. Referee ringing the bell. Here we go. CM Punk and Seth Rollins starting us off there. And look at the attire Wade Barrett had underneath his suit attire. He had himself a little bit of shades of when he was the leader of Nexus back in the early 2010s there. Be very interesting to see if maybe this is trying to play some mind games with CM Punk. But the two competitors that are starting off this matchup, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, that is literally a match, and a dream match since CM Punk has come back. We know Seth Rollins and CM Punk have history with each other back when, you know, before CM Punk ultimately departed WWE, when CM Punk was going up against the Shield of Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. But certainly, you know, this is a whole different era. This is a whole different CM Punk, a whole different Seth Rollins. That big time drop kick takes down CM Punk. And certainly I believe all the superstars in this matchup on the other on Seth Rollins' side here are all, I would see, dream matches in the terms of what they can bring to the table with CM Punk. Imagine a Tommaso Ciampa and CM Punk, how physical that would be. Imagine the wrestling clinic you would get with Johnny Gargano and CM Punk. Seth Rollins, CM Punk could literally put on a match of the year candidate. And Wade Barrett and CM Punk, we address the past between both men, but you know, both of these men have to go to war Sunday at Backlash, and we'll see how that's going to fare between both men with the whole history between both of them being brought up and everything. I cannot wait to see how that fares. And I'm not saying I couldn't imagine a CM Punk Gunther matchup with Gunther just chopping the living crap out of CM Punk. CM Punk definitely would deserve that, but we're going to branch out a little bit and talk more about Backlash, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a big night. We've already mentioned you got Gunther, Seth Rollins, big matchup there. CM Punk versus Wade Barrett. You got the Usos challenging the Brothers of Destruction, who are part of the Wyatt family. It's going to be Undertaker and Kane taking on the Usos, and literally, where it's literally best tag team of our generation right now against the best tag team, arguably, of their generation. I mean, that's a lot to say something with the Brothers Destructions, with the Hardy Boys, the team of Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, like I mentioned, the Dudley Boys. There's so many tag teams over the years, but, you know, Undertaker and Kane certainly believe that they were the best tag team, but we'll see who the better tag team is of each generation. Will it be the older generation of Undertaker and Kane, or will it be the Usos? For the Usos, it's put up or shut up time. And we'll certainly see how it fares there live at Backlash. And also, we got Ilya Dragunov. He'll be challenging Austin Theory for the United States Championship. And then Tyler Bate, he challenges Bronson Reed for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. And we'll actually be seeing those 4 superstars in action tonight in tag team action. Coming up next, actually, it'll be Ilya Dragunov and Tyler Bate taking on the team of Austin Theory and Bronson Reed, as Rollins gets the tag to Gargano. Giovanni Vinci is busted wide open right in between, or I should say right above his nose area. It certainly looks like there's a cut there. And Giovanni trying to get some payback on what Rollins did to him with that super kick, but was not able to. Now Gargano going to slow down the matchup. But we have a series of tag team matches later on tonight. A 6-woman tornado tag team matchup as Bianca Belair teams up with Asuka and Becky Lynch to take on the team of Damage Control. We know at Backlash it'll be Bayley defending her Women's World Championship by taking on Bianca Belair inside of a steel cage. Bayley, it's put up or shut up time for Bayley to see if she can get it done without her backup. Let's look at Gargano. He's going after all of Imperium. And Gargano here spiking Gunther. Holy cow, this matchup is breaking down. Gargano taking out Imperium, CM Punk. It does not matter. He is on a hot streak. Gargano is a former WWE champion and Raw Tag Team champion, so certainly you can never put down or look past Johnny Gargano. Also, another big tag team matchup tonight. It is going to be Alpha Academy's own Kurt Angle and Chad Gable taking on the OC's AJ Styles and Karl Anderson. Big time matchup there, as now Gargano setting up Giovanni Vinci. Super kick, he got all of it. Dead on. Will that be enough? Gunther coming in to save the day, and he does. And I'm not sure what Ludwig Kaiser is doing at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's just trying to recuperate or something, but he's letting everybody else get the job done here. It's Gargano. Oh, nice flatliner taking down Giovanni Vinci. But like we mentioned, big time main event. Roman Reigns, World Heavyweight Champion, takes on The Undertaker in your main event. And that's not the only matchup the Brothers of Destruction are in actually tonight, as Kane, the brother of The Undertaker, will be in singles action taking on Jey Uso later on tonight. And plus, we got Big E, one of the members of D-Generation X, takes on Drew McIntyre. Certainly another matchup to look forward to, because Drew McIntyre will be taking on Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler targeting Drew McIntyre after, everything that has happened with, them challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ziggler believes he should have been World Heavyweight Champion. Obviously, the bloodline changed things. Solo Sikoa would start off by attacking Dolph Ziggler, then would go after McIntyre, and eventually Roman Reigns would walk out World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. But Ziggler wants to take out Drew McIntyre, certainly one of the biggest threats, and Ziggler wants to get back into World Heavyweight Championship contention, and no better way than beating Drew McIntyre. As Gargano gets the tag in, Giovanni Vinci is eating a lot of damage. The blood just dripping down the face, sideways, downward spiral. It's just bad time to beat Giovanni Vinci, and he is eating damage. like a fat kid eating cake right now. This is unlimited power here. It's now Gargano looking for the Gargano lock. And look at that. We got ourselves a first-person view here. Will Giovanni Vinci have to tap out? The matchup is breaking down, but CM Punk rightfully right there at the right time. And now CM Punk and Wade Barrett. The match is breaking down here. Oh, Wade Barrett with that, getting hit with that hard Irish whip. And oh no. Wait a minute. Gargano has Gunther up. Oh my goodness. Spiking him on that DDT. This matchup is breaking down, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it's going to get any better for Imperium and CM Punk just yet. Gunther inadvertently saving the day for Giovanni Vinci just for a quick second. Uh-oh, Gargano. You get the tag with Rollins here. Both men working together. Beautiful drop kick. Oh, wait a minute. Wade Barrett being taken out by CM Punk. Breaking down very, very quickly. Gunther trying to get a hot tag to Vinci, but Vinci just doesn't know where he's at, ladies and gentlemen. He's just, I don't know, I would fear a concussion. It's a 5-star frog splash there. Is this going to be enough? 2, 3, yes it is. CM Punk got in the ring, but Gargano grabbed him before he could possibly break it up. As right here, look at this. Big time drop kick there that would eventually lead to this 5-star frog splash. You see CM Punk, he could have easily gotten that, but he set his focus on Gargano, then would set his focus on that, but ultimately it would break down, and the team of DIY, Wade Barrett and Seth Rollins pick up a massive win. Will these superstars win this Sunday? Will Rollins and Wade Barrett win? Will that be the outcome? Another night that Gunther cannot get the job done. Can't say I'm surprised, but Gunther, I was able to actually talk to Shawn Michaels, the Raw general manager, and I talked to him about upping the ante for our matchup there at Backlash. So our matchup now has a major stipulation to it now. The stipulation now is that the winner of our matchup there at Backlash will be next in line for the World Heavyweight Championship. You're hearing me correctly. So when I go on to beat you, I will be next in line for Roman Reigns or Solo Sikoa's World Heavyweight Championship. But, you know, if you get lucky, then you'll be next in line. But I don't see that happening. But all seriousness, Gunther, me and you are going to tear down that house. They're live at Backlash, but there ultimately can only be one visionary. There ultimately can only be one revolutionary, and you're looking at him, Seth frickin' Rollins. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and now we're going to have some more tag team action as a team of Seth Rollins, Wade Barrett, and DIY picking up a massive win. But now you're going to have Ilya Dragunov, one of the youngest superstars on the Monday Night Raw roster, going at it tonight. He won a Battle Royal to become the #1 contender and to be the man to challenge Austin Theory for his United States Championship. Now this matchup is going to be very, very physical, very brutal, especially on the side of Ilya Dragunov, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know how Austin Theory is going to deal with that. He's going to have to definitely outthink Ilya Dragunov at Backlash. But also, you have Tyler Bate that has even a little bigger test, and that being Bronson Reed, the man that literally decimated Tyler Bate last week. After Tyler Bate defeated Cameron Grimes, big man Bronson Reed would come out and just hit multiple tsunamis to the outside. Tyler Bate literally looked like a broken man, and I don't even know how he's actually here tonight. Definitely probably taking the whole week to really heal up, honestly. A lot of ice packs to the ribs. Certainly going to have a lot of bruised ribs, lacerations. But we'll see how he fares tonight when he teams up with Ilya Dragunov, looking to take down Austin Theory and Bronson Reed here live tonight. Absolutely crucial night here live on Raw for a lot of these superstars. As now here comes the big strong boy, Tyler Bate. Can Tyler Bate, the man that was literally you could essentially call him the king of the United Kingdom division there in NXT, with multiple reigns there in the NXT United Kingdom Championship division. But this is a whole different United Kingdom division here live on Monday Night Raw. We'll see if Tyler Bate, since he has so much experience when it comes to this championship, obviously it's a whole different championship, just the main roster compared to NXT, but certainly when it comes to this type of matchup, he is no stranger when it comes to this. But he's going to have to somehow put on a brave face tonight and somehow make it to Backlash. But, you know, I think if Tyler Bate takes any more big damage from Bronson Reed in this matchup, I honestly don't think Tyler Bate makes it to Backlash. We will literally have to wait and see what this matchup is going to look like. It's going to be off the charts, at least my prediction-wise. Two superstars that were in NXT made a statement on how they are, as there is Grayson Waller making his presence known with Bronson Reed as well. But with this partnership that Bronson Reed and Austin Theory had, and ultimately adding Grayson Waller, I think certainly all three superstars very well could be champions within this next year here on Monday Night Raw. When I say that, we already know Austin Theory and Bronson Reed are champions, but with Grayson Waller, I'm thinking, tag team division. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, two young guys. Or you could do the big man, Bronson Reed and Grayson Waller. That'd be a very interesting matchup. But Bronson Reed could literally take Grayson Waller under his wing. But I don't know if Bronson Reed would really want to focus on being a tag team superstar. It's just one of those things that you could take under consideration. But now, here comes A-Town Down Zone, Austin Theory. And we'll see for Austin Theory if he can retain his championship. There at SummerSlam, he retained over Carmelo Hayes. That was a tremendous back and forth matchup, but Austin Theory survived the night. But this is a whole different animal, and it's Ilya Dragunov that will be coming his way. And if he's able to survive Ilya Dragunov, I mean, this is going to be a type of thing for Austin Theory where, he's going to do the unthinkable. You go through Carmelo Hayes, a man that's on top of his game, falling up a bit short against Theory, and then Ilya Dragunov, who is trying to find himself in the terms of, picking up these massive wins as of late, but to, be in this United States Championship matchup for Ilya Dragunov, a big matchup. But I think Theory, if he picks up a win, I think he's going to continue to get himself in the right direction. And the start of this matchup is very, very interesting. You got Bronson Reed and Ilya Dragunov, and look at Tyler Bate with a big punch to the face. Certainly, that had some force to that. Certainly, Tyler Bate would love to get his hands on Bronson Reed, and right now Bronson Reed is a whole different animal right now. I was going to say wouldn't be able to be taken down, but Ilya Dragunov changing the game early in this matchup. There's now Dragunov looking to fly here. Big flying headbutt takes down the big man. And this is what Ilya Dragunov needs to do. Keep Bronson Reed on his back flat on the mat, because there's going to be times in this matchup where you're not going to be literally able to pick him up. There's going to be a lot of times he's going to be able to push you away or whatnot. So Ilya Dragunov just has to be so careful. Dissect Bronson Reed little by little. Focus on the back. Focus on the legs. Because obviously that's where a lot of power comes from. And if you wear down Bronson Reed enough to where it's hard for him to get to the top rope and go for a tsunami, then Bronson Reed will have to change up his game plan. It's a flying knee strike right to the ribs. This is what Ilya Dragunov needs to do right now. He's already trying to end this bad boy. He's setting up Bronson Reed already. Flying headbutt. That's the finisher for Ilya Dragunov. Are we already game over? No. Ilya Dragunov coming out here right away. He's trying to end it, and I don't blame him. Send a statement to both of these superstars that he's not going to back down. And look at Bronson Reed. He's busted open here. And this is one of those times where you say, hey, Bronson Reed is in trouble. Certainly Bronson Reed has lost his fair share of matches, but when he's rebounded from losing matches, it's only made Bronson Reed better. And certainly Bronson Reed has had massive, massive wins over the last couple months when you think about Bronson Reed. As he gets a tag in, Tyler Bate going for the elbow drop. I don't know certainly what he was trying to do, but Tyler Bate trying to take on both men at once here. Bate gets his revenge early on, but was it worth it? Is now Theory. They're trying to get the crowd to, I guess, really just rub it in the crowd's face. But, you know, it's just, with the massive wins that Bronson Reed has had, like I was mentioning before I focused back on the action, Bronson Reed, oh my God! Theory just tossing Tyler Bate. Oh my goodness, now Theory trying to take out Ilya Dragunov. I was trying to get to my point, ladies and gentlemen, but this matchup is breaking down here very, very quickly. But like I mentioned, over the last couple months, Bronson Reed has had massive, massive wins, especially 3 back-to-back wins over Drew McIntyre, would at that time take the $1 Million Championship away, but Ted DiBiase would want his $1 Million Championship. But then that's when the United Kingdom Championship division was started, and then, you know, it's ever since then, Bronson Reed has been, for the most part, very unbeatable. Yes, he had stuff with the LWO, that being Santos Escobar. He beat him in non-title action, but man, Bronson Reed, he absolutely destroyed Santos Escobar there at SummerSlam. If you guys go back and watch it, it was a pay-per-view to really to go on, man. It was just absolutely craziness, twists, turns, all over, all that fun stuff. But that was certainly one of the matches with a very unexpected, fast ending to that matchup. Only a couple minutes, and Bronson Reed made short work of Santos Escobar. And right now, I think Bronson Reed certainly wants to send the message to Tyler Bate right now, his challenger, live there at Backlash. Bate is trying to get to his corner, but Bate, you know, he just eating so much damage, and oh my goodness, spinning forearm strike, stunning Tyler Bate there. And now Bronson Reed going to let the United States champion go to work here on Tyler Bate. We'll see if it will come back to bite them in the behind. Now Tyler Bate, big old clothesline, takes down the champion. And Tyler Bate, what's he thinking about here? Oh my goodness, over the top rope, not messing around. Suicide dive, but look at Theory. Theory right back up to his feet, popping bottles of champagne right there, able to get back up to his feet as a big uppercut to the back of the neck. But surprise Theory, I mean, honestly, it's got to be pure adrenaline at that point for him to get back up before Tyler Bate did. Tyler Bate having to realize he has to get back in the ring, so does Theory. Don't want to have ourselves a count-out victory. I mean, I guess a count-out victory does save them a little bit of possible injuries that could happen there. Look at Ilya Dragunov saving Tyler Bate no matter what. In Theory, not going to take much light to that. Big clothesline misses, and there's Tyler Bate folding Austin Theory like an accordion. And now, this is where Tyler Bate goes to work. Well, at least I thought he was, but going to go for the pinfall nonetheless, but a strong kick out from the champ. Been a very brutal match from the get-go. Tyler Bate and Ilya Dragunov working great here as a tag team. Look at Theory coming right after Ilya Dragunov. Certainly, that's what you got to do against this very impressive Ilya Dragunov. He certainly had his fair share of big matches there in NXT with the likes of CM Punk. Was in a group with CM Punk and Karrion Kross at one time, but Punk's group would ultimately die down, that Punk society. Ilya Dragunov just trying to start new here on Monday Night Raw and kind of see how he fares. Is A-Town down there? Is that enough? No, Ilya Dragunov able to kick out. All day Austin Theory bringing the fight. That blood just spewing out of the right eye socket there for Ilya Dragunov. If I'm the referee, I'm thinking she might need to stop it briefly, check the eye, make sure that blood doesn't go inside of his eye, or make sure maybe his eye is still in socket or whatever, because that blood is coming right out right now. And especially when you're dealing with your opponent, you got to be able to see. As a big-time clothesline, misses Theory with a beautiful swinging neck breaker reversal. And Theory knows he is doing great right now, especially against Ilya Dragunov. And now Tyler Bate, gonna look for a submission hold here. Middle of the ring, nowhere to go. Will Tyler Bate be able to make Austin Theory tap out? No. The big man, the colossal Bronson Reed, able to make sure Theory stays in this matchup a little bit longer at least. And look at Tyler Bate. He realizes Bronson Reed wants to get the tag back into this matchup here. And look at Theory. Springboard missile dropkick, turning Tyler Bate inside out, ladies and gentlemen. But somehow, someway, Tyler Bate is able to kick out. That is absolute craziness, ladies and gentlemen. And now the big man, Bronson Reed, going to maybe come in here and put the final touches of this matchup here. Oh no, this ain't good. Oh my goodness, all that weight on the back of the neck. Is that enough for the United Kingdom champion? Yes, it is. Ilya Dragunov just got up to his feet at that time, but Bronson Reed and Austin Theory get the job done tonight. And we didn't even have to see Bronson Reed pull out that brutal frog splash, a brutal tsunami. Didn't even need to do it tonight to put away Tyler Bate. I guarantee Tyler Bate's still feeling the after effects of last week's matchup, but both men, both the champions, pick up a massive win tonight. Will they retain at Backlash, or will one of them or both of them lose their championships? We'll have to wait and find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now this matchup is going to be one of the most interesting matches, certainly one of the most brutal matches of the night. You got Big E, one of the longest reigning Intercontinental Champions, member of D-Generation X. He will be taking on Drew McIntyre, former World Heavyweight Champion. Drew McIntyre has accolades. We could go on for minutes and minutes about what all Drew McIntyre has done. Dolph Ziggler is a former United States champion and certainly will look to put down one of the best in the series history, that being Drew McIntyre. And, well, if McIntyre, or I should say Dolph Ziggler, is able to knock off McIntyre live at Backlash, certainly that is definitely going to get him to climb up the rankings. We heard it earlier on tonight from Seth Rollins' mouth that he's talked to Shawn Michaels and talked about upping the ante of that matchup. From what we understand, it is going to be Seth Rollins versus Gunther. The winner is next in line for that World Heavyweight Championship. So certainly Ziggler would love to take on Roman Reigns and win his first ever World Heavyweight Championship here in the series, or first major championship, honestly, besides him having that United States Championship reign. But now, here comes your Scottish Warrior, a man that has accolades and accolades from Raw and SmackDown, and even NXT, ladies and gentlemen. This man has done it all, it seems. WWE Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, $1 million champion, former Mr. Money in the Bank, the first ever King of the Ring. Drew McIntyre, these last couple years, you could say these last 2 years, certainly has been great. Before he was there in NXT, would climb up the rankings, former NXT champion. Man, this man has won So many championships. Mr. Money in the Bank, like I mentioned, $1 million champion as well. So I mean, like this man is accomplished quite a bit if you think about it. No, he hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship or that type of stuff just yet, but I'm sure if McIntyre really wanted to, he certainly could. Obviously, with the $1 million championship, that got turned into the United Kingdom Championship, but you know, we'll talk more about that. But this matchup is about to get underway. Here we go, Big E versus Drew McIntyre. Certainly, McIntyre does not want to have a losing streak heading into his matchup with Dolph Ziggler. Certainly, ever since Dolph Ziggler has set his sights on Drew McIntyre, we have not seen Dolph in action. We've seen D-Generation X's Braun Breaker and now Big E taking on the likes of Drew McIntyre. So it seems like Ziggler is letting his muscle men do all the work for him. Pinfall opportunity, but McIntyre not able to get enough damage done just to Big E yet, as McIntyre all ready for this matchup, trying to hype himself up, trying to get this crowd behind him, but Big E turning that down right away. And imagine what a win over McIntyre would do for Big E. We saw it last week with the win of Braun Breaker over Drew McIntyre. One of the massive wins of Braun Breaker's career, especially with what Drew McIntyre has done in his career. We all know the past of Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, former tag team. But Ziggler would ultimately turn his back on Drew McIntyre one random day. It was certainly on a Monday Night Raw episode where I believe Drew McIntyre lost. Ziggler was fed up with it and essentially would turn his back on McIntyre, ending their partnership and whatnot. They had big wins as a tag team. They didn't get to wear championship gold for the two, but certainly they had big time aspirations to be tag team champions. Didn't work out that way, but at one time McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler were there in NXT waiting for McIntyre to officially drop his championship at that time, as McIntyre putting everything on the line, taking down Big E. Look at Dolph Ziggler trying to maybe run some interference here, and I don't blame him. Big E certainly looks like he may be in trouble at this very moment, and look at McIntyre just talking some trash. Why not? D-Generation X being very, very uncaring of this whole Monday Night Raw roster. Now back and forth we go. Big E, right into the steel steps McIntyre goes. And imagine if we have to have a count-out victory here. But look at Big E, not going to do that. He wants to have a decisive win. Yeah, Big E literally has one of the best win-loss records in the series' history, especially with the Intercontinental Championship. That man was very unstoppable. But then he ran into Bray Wyatt once again, and that really changed Big E again. He would turn his back on his brothers, Kofi and Xavier, out of all things. They lost literally a 3-on-1 handicap matchup to Bray Wyatt, and that's what got Big E to snap. And ultimately Dolph Ziggler would recruit Big E and was the first, or I should say the third, I guess you could say the second major signing of that group. Braun Breaker being the first, and then Big E was the second. And certainly with these two, they are absolutely, on top of their game. Big E, like we mentioned, that long Intercontinental Championship reign. Hold on, referee in position 2. Big strong kick out at 2.5. Like I mentioned, Big E with the New Day, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in series history. Braun Breaker, former NXT Champion, former United Kingdom Champion holder, and then certainly, he's just getting started. You never know what Braun Breaker is gonna be able to get here in series, especially here on Raw. As Big E, telling McIntyre to get up to his feet. Big axe handle misses, and McIntyre, oh my goodness, almost a one-hand backbreaker there, and look at Dolph Dolph trying to play in the favor of Big E, but McIntyre, oh my goodness, the transition to move Big E, that is not easy to move a man the size of Big E. That is not easy whatsoever. Oh, wait a minute, Big E out of nowhere, big ending to Drew McIntyre. Is that enough? 2? No, 2.5. McIntyre stays in it. But for how much longer? How much longer can McIntyre sustain this damage right now? Certainly, like I mentioned, he doesn't want to walk into Backlash with a losing streak, so certainly a win over Big E will do that. But that, oh, look at that. Ziggler getting involved again. Big E literally just got hit with a Claymore kick, and Ziggler getting involved, trying to get Big E some time here. Ultimately giving him a little bit of time there. But McIntyre with a big punch to the face, and Ziggler's like, oh, what do I got to do, man? What in the heck do I got to do here? Pinfall opportunity. Will this be enough? Big kick out there from Big E. 2.5. McIntyre could not believe it, but I believe Ziggler saved the day for Big E to let him recuperate probably at least for 10-12 seconds, maybe, if that. McIntyre telling Big E to stay down. Look at McIntyre, these big boots to the temple there of Big E. And now that ground and pound game trying to put Big E in his place. Certainly don't blame them. One of the biggest matches of Backlash, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Certainly Dolph Ziggler wants to start producing results here on Monday Night Raw for Shawn Michaels and certainly Triple H. Shawn Michaels, the Raw General Manager. Triple H is the chairman of the board now since Vince had decided to retire. Oh, wait a minute. Kimura lock here. Kimura lock here to Big E. Big E may have to tap out here, ladies and gentlemen. McIntyre not backing down, pulling out a submission hold here, but look at Big E able to slip out of it. Great timing there for Big E. Don't want to take too much damage as now McIntyre. Uh-oh, this ain't going to be good. Oh my goodness, a squatting suplex, and look at Ziggler again trying to distract McIntyre. Big E now from behind. Oh, big clubbing blow to that lower back. A lot of damage been done to that lower back in this matchup. And now Big E with that shoulder block a little bit kind of to stun Drew McIntyre. And now going to focus on that lower back again with that side slam. Big E all fired up here. This crowd wants none of that. How much more can McIntyre and Big E sustain? Both men hitting their biggest of shots, and it has not been enough. You can literally say Dolph Ziggler has saved Big E multiple times in this matchup. Big E trying to pick up McIntyre as, wait a minute, oh, big power slam. I thought maybe Big E was going to transition that into a big ending. Imagine if he was going to be able to. That would have been a perfect finishing maneuver, as that's a finishing maneuver for sure with a almost like a Batista bomb right there from Big E. Look at Big E just stomping away on McIntyre, trying to cave in the chest there, make it look like his former partner Kofi Kingston there. And now McIntyre is in trouble as he gets hit with a scoop slam to the outside. This is what Big E needs to do to the Scottish Warrior. Just decimate him outside and then, maybe hit the big ending or put something big right now to end this matchup, certainly. The damage has been done at ringside. But right now, you got to focus on putting away McIntyre. McIntyre connecting with that brutal enziguri. McIntyre trying to figure out what he wants to do. Certainly keeping on Big E is the play. Oh my goodness. Big knee strike that stuns McIntyre and a big-time clothesline. And look at McIntyre. He knew he was in a bad spot. Both men rolling outside the ring. This matchup is breaking down as oh my goodness, a belly-to-belly suplex. Absolutely brutal. This has been certainly a hard-hitting matchup, ladies and gentlemen. And we are about halfway through the night. Coming up next is the 6-woman Tornado Tag Team matchup. Damage Control takes on Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Becky Lynch. And also another match I'm really looking forward to is Jey Uso one-on-one with Kane. See how the Big Red Machine deals with Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso of the Bloodline. And look at Ziggler trying to get some distraction going again here. McIntyre busting open Big E. You can't really tell with all that sweat that's dripping down Big E. See Ziggler right here on your screen here, just trying to get McIntyre's attention, but McIntyre's not even really phased by him right now. And now look at Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker getting involved here. This could be the moment Big E needs again. D-Generation X is trying to do everything in their power to help them out. And now, big old back suplex. Oh my goodness. You could hear that from the cheap seats. And Big E, big time haymakers there to Drew McIntyre. Yeah, this is absolutely brutal here. And now Big E tossing him like a cruiserweight there. McIntyre just trying to figure out what he needs to do at this point, man. This has been a brutal match between both men. Ziggler shaking his head there, doesn't know what he needs to do. And look at this again, the second transition from that body slam area to a suplex. That is Drew McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen, for you. One of the best to ever do it here in the series. It does not matter what brand he is, he's absolutely one of the most dominant superstars in series history. Doesn't matter if he's with a group by himself, certainly gets the job done. And certainly winning the King of the Ring tournament that we had a couple years ago when that first started, certainly that helped Drew McIntyre find himself. There for the longest time, McIntyre was having issues with that. But that King of the Ring tournament started there on SmackDown and would go on to win it. It would be the finals of Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, and we would see Drew McIntyre winning that, beating Randy Orton, and ultimately walking out. Walking out as Mr. King of the Ring, and now Big E saving a possible count out here. And now again, oh my goodness, this time around McIntyre busted wide open. McIntyre, I don't even know if he's going to know where the heck he's at this moment. Blood just dripping down his face. And now, oh, wait a minute. McIntyre, oh no. McIntyre tossing Big E right into those steel steps. And now Big E realizing he's in a bad spot right there. Oh, Big E saves the day for himself momentarily. Big clubbing blow there. And now Big E looking to end this matchup once and for all. Big E, big ending. Could that be enough for Big E to put away McIntyre here? Yes, it is. Big E with a win over Drew McIntyre. And McIntyre will be walking into Backlash with another loss. Consecutive weeks with losses to D-Generation X's Braun Breaker and Big E. What a match. These guys literally tore down the house. A hell of a match. You can see literally the sweat on Big E. He literally put in a hell of an effort tonight live here on Raw. Here's Drew McIntyre celebrating, or I should say Ziggler celebrating McIntyre outside there after a devastating loss, unfortunately. Bound not to be happy here. Oh no. This is going to break down very, very quickly. Big time super kick out of nowhere from Dolph Ziggler. Certainly just celebrating that big win they just had over Drew McIntyre. It was a hellacious win by Big E, hitting that big ending to Drew McIntyre. And certainly that puts Drew McIntyre in a bad way, leading in to that pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. And certainly Ziggler is going to love to put the icing on top of this matchup, that cherry on top of that sundae, as a big-time elbow right there to the chest of Drew McIntyre. And oh no, not this, not a submission hold here. Just going to try and make McIntyre pass out here. It won't matter if he taps out here, ladies and gentlemen. This is just all about sending a message to McIntyre. D-Generation X is not given any more Fs around here on Monday Night Raw. Oh no. This ain't it. This ain't it. And now McIntyre getting up to his feet. Doesn't know where the hell he's at. Oh my goodness, another brutal maneuver. Ziggler laying out McIntyre, and I don't even think McIntyre makes it to Backlash, ladies and gentlemen. As oh no, Ziggler putting McIntyre on the table here. What's the show off doing here? Oh no, not like this. Dolph, not this. Elbow through the damn table. Dolph Ziggler has done it. He has laid waste to the Scottish Warrior. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the 6-woman Tornado Tag Team matchup. As it's going to be the Women's Champion from SmackDown and one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Asuka is going to be with her tag team partner Becky Lynch to team up with Bianca Belair. All 6 of these competitors will be in action coming up this Sunday. We mentioned Asuka. She'll be not only defending her Women's Championship at Night of Champions, which is a couple weeks away, but beforehand, she defends her Women's Tag Team Championship with Becky Lynch to take on the team of Damage Control, that being Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Then, you got Bianca Belair this Sunday, live at Backlash. It'll be Bianca Belair and Bayley inside of a steel cage, ladies and gentlemen, where Bayley, she cannot run away, she cannot have outside interference, she has to rely on herself to get the job done. Pinfall or submission or escaping the cage are the only ways to walk out champion. Bayley won the championship there by the help of Damage Control there at SummerSlam in a last woman standing matchup. But we'll see how it fares coming up this Sunday, as there is Becky Lynch, the man, the standard bearer in the women's division. She said she wanted to help rebuild the women's tag team division here. She said she had a bunch of opportunities with the women's championship, and she wanted to step away from the division so that all the other women on SmackDown can step up to the plate. Doesn't mean that Becky Lynch won't go back to eventually challenging for that, but right now I think Becky wants to focus with Asuka by making sure those women's tag team championships are very, very prestigious. Yes, Becky Lynch and Asuka are more of a singles competitors, but putting their powers together certainly may help. I mean, we've seen a lot of tag teams in our histories that were major, singles competitors, and then they put their brains together, the 2 top talents of a brand or whatever it is. If you guys remember the tag team of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H in the early 2000s. One would be the WWE champion. You got the tag team championships. It seemed like they had all the gold. I think the one-man power trip is what they were called, if I'm not mistaken. But certainly, there's nothing wrong with having that. But ultimately, we all know how that ended between both men. But certainly, Asuka and Becky Lynch, 2 of the top women there on SmackDown. As here's the challenger, Bianca Belair. We'll see how she fares. Can she get her Women's World Championship back? And if I remember correctly, this may be the first time we've seen Bianca Belair in action ever since that title loss. And from what I understand, we were supposed to see her some times beforehand, but, you know, with the unfortunate events of, you know, Bray Wyatt passing away, we focused the week of Monday Night Raw to that, trying to find, you know, a replacement with that Bray Wyatt Invitational Royal Rumble type of situation. But I think it gave Bianca Belair plenty of time to really chill her nerves, not try to come out here and, you know, ultimately come after Bayley, because Bayley was one of the masters of mind games, and certainly that would go in the favor of Bayley. So I think Bianca Belair is doing the right thing. Let these last couple weeks just kind of settle her nerves, because she's gonna have one of her biggest matches live at Backlash. We'll see how she fares then. But Io Sky, former SmackDown Women's Champion, former Women's Tag Team Champions with Dakota Kai as well. So certainly we'll see how this goes. Dakota Kai, multi-time Women's Tag Team Champion as well. Bayley has picked up some massive wins in her career as well. So these women certainly know when it comes to gold. Referee ringing the bell. Here we go. We got Bayley going after Becky, Io Sky, Bianca, and now Dakota Kai and Asuka going at it. One of the first major opportunities where we see both the Raw and SmackDown champions in the same ring. Very ironic. Asuka, she's able to survive Rhea Ripley, and then you got Bayley doing what she did there at SummerSlam, ultimately disrespecting that championship with what she did with Damage Control. But I mean, it was, despite what we didn't like about it, certainly it was perfectly legal when you think about it. Obviously, in that landscape of things, it's the last woman standing match. Anything can happen, and obviously, you know, Bayley used it to her advantage. It's Damage Control taking it to all three of Becky, Bianca, and Asuka right now. Damage Control is just on a whole different ball game. Now you got Bianca and Bayley at ringside, Asuka and Io, Dakota Kai and Becky. This matchup is definitely breaking down for sure, and getting a little bit of a taste of what's going to happen at Backlash. As the underhook takedown there of Becky Lynch. Will that be enough to put away Big Time Backs? No. Big kick out there. And certainly Bayley wants to get the upper hand on Bianca Belair and make sure she won't be 100% as the genius of the skies. Io Sky takes down Becky Lynch. Is that going to be enough? Lynch kicking out at the very last second. I don't think Asuka would have saved her there. Becky Lynch eating so much damage right now as Bayley and Bianca again going at it, as Dakota Kai and Io Sky taking out the competition in the ring at this very moment. Another pinfall opportunity as a chokeslam backbreaker, but Becky Lynch again kicking out. It's very shocking what we're seeing right now. Damage Control coming out here with a major purpose and sending a message to not only the women's tag team champions, but they're also sending a message to Bianca Belair. As Dakota Kai, and look at that big kick to the side of the skull. Down goes Asuka. Pinfall opportunity. Will this be it to put away Asuka? No! Asuka kicks out at the very last second. And now Damage Control trying to do everything they can right now to ultimately put away Asuka right now. Oh, big kick there. But now Bayley. Big time opportunity. Get the Women's World Champion and the Women's Champion. Bayley and Asuka going out there briefly. As big power slam there from Bianca. Bianca trying to get herself back in this matchup. And certainly this is all breaking down. Certainly pinfall or submission has to happen in the middle of the ring, so certainly what they're doing outside here is definitely going to help them break down their opponent in this matchup, but ultimately it's not like you can go for the pinfall, or even if you do, it's not going to work. Certainly all these women have faced each other one way or another. Singles action, tag team action, does not matter. It's a spinning karate kick to the face of Bayley. Io Sky trying to save Bayley there momentarily, trying to work in their favor as much as they can here. As, oh my goodness, very innovative move there, almost like a bear hug type of maneuver. Take down Bianca. Bayley and Becky, two of the 4 horsewomen. Sasha Banks no longer in WWE, at least at the moment. Charlotte there on Monday Night Raw. We haven't heard from her in a little bit. Don't know the next time when we'll see here is Io Sky. Pinfall opportunity, but look, Bianca was grabbing that bottom rope. The rope break wasn't activated, but I don't think in this big time tornado tag team matchup you get a rope break as far as I'm aware. As Io Sky with a big time suplex trying to keep down the former women's world champion. Big knee strike. Bianca Belair is a former Miss Money in the Bank and a former Raw Women's Champion turned into World Heavyweight Champion. As Io Sky setting up Bianca. Io Sky, the genius of the sky, connects. Will that be enough? But Asuka right there, the Empress of Tomorrow, pulling out all the stops, realizing Bianca was in trouble and sacrifices herself in this moment. As, oh no, Io Sky, we all know what she's thinking. Can she hit it though? She has something in store. She's thinking the Spanish Fly, I believe. Yes, she does. Spanish Fly connecting. Asuka turned inside out. Damage control with all the momentum. Asuka's down and out. Bianca's down and out. Becky's down and out. Io Sky with a big time genius maneuver. And Dakota Kai pins Asuka. What a women's matchup and complete domination, ladies and gentlemen, from Damage Control tonight. They did not back down. They came right after the tag team champions and Bianca Belair. My question is, did they come out too focused tonight? Will they be able to do the exact same thing we saw tonight at Backlash? Damage Control, they have one step to go, and that is becoming the women's tag team champions and retaining the women's championship. We'll have to wait and see what happens at Backlash. Now this next matchup, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be very interesting to really see how this next matchup goes, because the Usos are challenging, or I should say the Brothers of Destruction have called out the Usos after what happened last week when the Usos defeated the Viking Raiders by countout, very underhanded. Undertaker and Kane would come out and say, hey, you know what, you call yourself the best tag team and you win via countout. Undertaker would go on to say that his brother and him would not win like that. They would come out here and dominate the tag team division. So he challenged them to a tag team matchup live at Backlash, the Usos versus the Brothers of Destruction, to really see if the Usos are the best tag team in the world today. This is going to be a brutal matchup, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait to see the past versus the present. The Usos taking on the Brothers of Destruction this Sunday live at Backlash. It's bound to get crazy real quick, like, as Jey Uso goes into singles action against the big red machine Kane, and it looks like Kane is going to go at it all alone tonight. You all know The Undertaker has a massive main event tonight as he takes on the World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns. Last time we've really seen Kane in singles action, if I do remember correctly, it was against LA Knight months ago. So we'll certainly have to see how the big red machine Kane does here tonight. Obviously, Kane not in his prime anymore, unlike Jey Uso here. But it certainly doesn't mean that Kane cannot get the job done against Jey Uso. It's, big clothesline. Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso laying waste to Kane here right now. And Kane literally could be in trouble, but
The thing is, when you face a man like Kane, he can change the matchup in seconds. Even if he's a part-timer, full-timer, it doesn't matter. Kane certainly can be with the best of the best, wrestle with the best of the best. Old, young, I think Kane is certainly fine where he's at, and especially with everything going on. From what we understood, you had Undertaker, the Viking Raiders, Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt, and it sounded like, from what we understand, Kane was going to be joining the group too, but then unfortunately Bray Wyatt passed away. Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy no longer here, so in Bray Wyatt's memory still, you got Kane, Undertaker, the Viking Raiders, Alexa Bliss still involved as well. So, I mean, certainly there's still plenty to cheer for the Wyatt family. As here comes Kane. Oh my goodness, the power slam there for Jay. That is not going to be easy to pick up a man like Kane. Definitely a big man. Over 7 foot, 300 plus pounds. But certainly that's what's called lifting and weight training. Wait for those big time superstars that you face. You're not going to be facing all those 200-pound superstars. You're going to be at times expected to face big time superstars, especially if you want to get to that main event scene. Now Jey Uso has Kane in the corner here. Kane has some of that blood dripping down his nose here. I don't know if Jey Uso maybe broke his nose possibly. Let's look at big time maneuver there from Jey Uso. Will that be enough to put away the big red machine here? No, Kane able to kick out at 2.5. Kane digging down deep here, but he needs to figure out something soon, or Jey Uso might be, walking out here very, very quickly with a win tonight. And certainly Kane would like to walk into Backlash with his brother, The Undertaker, with a win. Big haymaker to the already busted open nose there of Kane. And now Kane, big clothesline, takes down Uso. This is where Kane needs to pick up the matchup here. It doesn't have to be fast-paced, but get it to where you can finally get some offense going here. Choking out Jey Uso will certainly help you out there. As Kane signaling the end is near here for Jey, but main event Jey Uso spiking Kane on his head. And that might be all she wrote, honestly. And again, look at this, going for that Samoan drop. Kane had this well scouted, those big time elbows. Kane certainly knows all about the Samoan dynasty, the bloodline, from The Rock to Rikishi to the rest of the family. Certainly there's plenty of Samoans that Kane and The Undertaker have had to deal with throughout the years. Now Kane just stomping away, just trying to build any offense that he can, because Jey Uso has, for the most part, gotten all that offense tonight. Now Kane gonna toss Jey Uso back inside the ring here. Changing point. Can Kane put away Jey Uso here? It's the perfect opportunity. He literally has Jey in the center of the ring here. This ain't good. Well, Jey Uso able to counter momentarily. Had it well scouted. And now Kane with his own reversal. Back and forth we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pinfall opportunity. Will this be enough? But no, Jey Uso with a strong kick out at 1. This is where the matchup could very well break down. But Kane, the veteran that he is, the WWE Hall of Famer, gets him back in the ring and certainly realizes he needs to, get it done right here, right now. It's another DDT from Jey. Certainly probably one of the toughest tests in singles action for Jey Uso. Is again another DDT, going to the well multiple times. I don't blame him. To send a message, it's a big time super kick. And now Jey Uso looking for the Uso splash to Kane. Is that gonna be enough? Yes, it is. Jey Uso picks up the win over the Big Red Machine tonight. And will that be the sign of things to come in the no countout tag team matchup between the Brothers of Destruction and the Usos, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe if the Undertaker was out here, maybe could have different results, but tonight the Usos defeat Kane in singles action. Congratulations to the Bloodline.
The Usos celebrating still after a marquee win over Kane. And now, oh no, Jimmy Uso gonna look to inflict some more damage here on Kane. It's absolutely brutal strikes. Jey Uso trying to make sure the referee doesn't try to do anything. Now, if I'm the referee, I definitely would not want to do anything whatsoever right now. I can only imagine what the Usos want to do is, oh my goodness, right on the back of the neck. That certainly is not going to be feeling too good for Kane. I certainly can tell you that. And now this is just going to be a brutal mugging on the hands of the Usos. Oh no. This ain't good. Tables being introduced. Jimmy laying out Kane there. Oh no, this is not good. The Usos taking out Kane, the competition that we're going to be just seeing this Sunday at Backlash. A absolute brutal assault to the hands of Kane. And Jey Uso just wants to inflict as much pain as you can. Wonder where the hell the Undertaker is right now, because his brother Kane is getting decimated. I know certainly he is getting ready for his big time one-on-one encounter with Roman Reigns, but certainly you got to assume that he's watching this right now, or maybe not, because maybe he would be coming in the ring already as an Uso splash there. And oh no, trying to inflict some more pain here. No, not the ladder. Not the ladder. Can only imagine where this is going to end up, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely brutal attack here from the Usos. Just inflicting as much pain as possible. Already been seen being put through a damn table. Kane rolling out of harm's way briefly, but certainly he's not going to do too much better here. He's back in the ring. Jey Uso tosses him. This is not what I was expecting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I certainly know the Usos are certainly not people you want to be messing with, but damn. This is not the thing I was expecting whatsoever tonight. And another big-time chop to the chest there. That is not going to be feeling too good. And now, Jey Uso, high risk, high reward. Big-time flying headbutt right to the chest. And now, oh, big-time takedown there. Taking down Kane briefly. And again. This is just a systematic destruction of the big red machine. Oh no. And now Jimmy looking to go high risk here. Uso splash there to Kane. And now, what in the hell is going on here? Jey again with a flying headbutt. The decimation of Kane tonight was very evident as utter destruction to the big red machine. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at your co-main event of the evening, the O.C. versus Alpha Academy, but this time now it will be a 2-on-2 tag team as AJ Styles teams up with Karl Anderson to take on the team of Kurt Angle and Chad Gable. coming up at Backlash, we all know the second matchup between AJ Styles and Kurt Angle is coming our way. We're going to see how Kurt Angle fares this time. He relied on the ankle lock quite a bit in their last matchup, and AJ Styles would capitalize, but we're now seeing a little bit more from Kurt Angle using that Olympic slam. And we'll see if that matchup will turn out with a different outcome, and we'll see if AJ Styles, gets the same outcome, walks out with another big-time victory over the WWE Hall of Famer. I'm talking about the O.C. there, looking to get those Raw Tag Team Championships back as they look to take on Alpha Academy's own Otis and Chad Gable with the Raw Tag Team Championships. Certainly Alpha Academy want to continue to still be the Raw Tag Team Champions, but we'll have to wait and see how that big-time Raw Tag Team Championship matchup is going to fare. As now, here comes Alpha Academy, led by Chad Gable, the Raw Tag Team Champion. We got Otis, but also we wait for Kurt Angle, the one that is managing Alpha Academy. And we still haven't heard from Chad Gable or Otis on how they really feel about Kurt Angle. And certainly, you would also think, hey, if they had a problem with it, they certainly would have said something already. But, Chad Gable and Otis are really going to do their own thing, which is not wrong. Nothing's wrong with that. They're their own tag team. They brought Kurt Angle in to help them get to the next level, and, well, they certainly have got that with the Raw Tag Team Championships. And I'm really looking forward to this Sunday in that tag team matchup, O.C. versus Alpha Academy. This is the time for Chad Gable and Otis, since their first ever tag team title defense as a tag team here. It's the literally biggest of big matches for them to really prove that they belong. As we now wait for the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Are we going to see Perk Angle tonight? Are we going to see a wrestling clinic? Certainly, Kurt Angle plans on doing that. Certainly, always great to see Kurt Angle in the ring, but his motives are certainly still questionable on why exactly he's been doing what he has been doing to AJ Styles. Yes, we've understand that Angle would rather prefer AJ Styles to be facing, or he wants AJ Styles to be in the main event scene, but he feels like Styles is kind of focusing on not himself, and he's kind of focusing more on his group with the O.C., and he feels like, AJ Styles should always be in the main event scene. But I certainly believe that AJ Styles hasn't done anything wrong. Former Universal Champion, former WWE Champion, former United States Champion. As the referee rings the bell, AJ Styles has done so much in the series, man, and it's very questionable on what Kurt Angle, is really doing. But it is what it is, I guess, at this point, as Gable and Angle working quite well early on here. And certainly you got to think Kurt Angle's going to have a couple tricks up his sleeve when it comes to getting this second matchup with AJ Styles. As I look at Kurt Angle now, going to throw around Karl Anderson like nothing, and now, come on. A little bit of a cheap shot to his opponent this Sunday. Just going to stomp away on Karl Anderson little by little, and again, but look at AJ Styles. He was ready. Always got to be ready when you're dealing with a man like the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. And my question is, whenever we do get done with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, is there intentions for, something more? Are we going to see a lot more from Kurt Angle? Yes, he's managing Alpha Academy. Does he plan on winning any championships? Does he plan on going after the World Heavyweight Championship sometime? Does he plan on going after the United States or the United Kingdom Championships? You know, there's just so many big things that you gotta take in consideration as AJ Styles, I believe, is now busted open. Yep, that right side, it looks like right above the right eyebrow right there. It looks like it's busted open a little bit. As big time stunner there from AJ Styles. And I'm being told right now some medical news about Kane after the vicious assault from Jay and Jimmy Uso. Kane seems to have major bruising. Obviously, he was busted open with that match with Jay Uso, so certainly they're working on patching him up. But from what we understand, the match is still on for this Sunday at Backlash. The Usos versus the Brothers of Destruction. The battle of the past versus the present. Who is the better tag team? And certainly, who's the best tag team of all time? Is it the Brothers of Destruction? Is it the Usos? So, Kurt Angle looking to fly. But no, big time tag. AJ able to get himself out of danger there. As Anderson and Angle trying to kind of go for the same thing. Kind of have a little bit of air under what they were trying to do. But it was a no-go there. But as Angle connects with a Russian leg sweep. But ladies and gentlemen, Backlash is going to be absolutely crazy. We've talked throughout the night about big time matches in the men's division, women's division, but the outright future of Monday Night Raw is very, very bright with a lot of these tag teams. And, you know, like I mentioned for the men's and women's division, you know, a lot of things are going to change because once we get done with Backlash, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you more about the next pay-per-view that will be coming for Monday Night Raw. It's going to be plenty of interesting scenarios that we'll have to deal with for Monday Night Raw, certainly with everything that's really going on, and really what's the future looking like for Monday Night Raw after Backlash, because there's so many big time pay-per-views coming our way. We got Halloween Havoc coming up 4 weeks after the Backlash pay-per-view. So I mean, is the landscape staying the same? Are all the champions going to be staying the same? Are we going to see a couple, you know, maybe upsets? Especially that World Heavyweight Championship picture. Family go to battle against each other. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in a tribal combat matchup. This is all stirring from that big time 30-man battle royal, the Bray Wyatt Invitational, where 30 men stepped up to the plate. Solo Sikoa came out number 30. We were told that Shawn Michaels made that. From what we were told, Solo Sikoa didn't just end up being in there. Shawn told Solo to join the matchup, and well, it would come down to Solo Sikoa and Austin Theory, your United States champion, and it would ultimately see Roman Reigns walk out as, or I should say Solo Sikoa walk out as the number one contender, and will be facing his own blood face to face. But when we saw the face-to-face confrontation the week after that very matchup, it was very interesting to see how Roman Reigns was telling Solo Sikoa repeatedly that he is not ready for this matchup. He doesn't believe it is Solo Sikoa's time. But certainly we're going to see coming up at Backlash, it may be Solo Sikoa's time. A lot of intriguing things there. I mean, Roman even said that he'll always have love and admiration for Solo Sikoa, but he just believes that it is not his time. So we'll see how Roman fares, man. It's going to be one of those moments as a Pele kick to the top of the skull there. And now, Styles. I think he had something in mind, maybe a phenomenal forearm of sorts. And now a big-time jumping knee strike right to the temple. Styles going to try and take out all of Alpha Academy if he has to. This has been a very physical tag team matchup. So, and certainly some bitter blood between Angle and Styles. Styles looking to take out Gable. Angle with a big-time suplex on the apron of Karl Anderson, and a plancha misses. Kurt Angle getting in the ring a little bit earlier than AJ Styles was expecting, and we'll see if landing on his tailbone will come back to bite AJ Styles there. Big time power slam there from Angle as we continue to go back and forth. But like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, Backlash is certainly going to be one of the better pay-per-views in a very long time for Monday Night Raw. Men's and women's side putting it all on the line. And oh, wait a minute, Kurt Angle now. Oh, he's stealing his finishing maneuver. The Styles Clash, the Styles. Imagine if he wins. Oh my goodness. Kurt Angle thought he had him, and I certainly thought he had him too. That is absolutely crazy. Imagine if Styles would have lost to Kurt Angle there by stealing his own finishing maneuver. That's absolutely crazy now. Chad Gable, oh, we're going to go high risk there, deciding not to do it. I think Kurt Angle telling Gable, hey, don't worry about it. Let me take care of it right now. And certainly, why not? Oh no, Angle. What is Angle thinking? As Gable suplexing Styles out there just moments ago. Angle, big shoulder tackle, didn't really affect Anderson. Anderson's still dizzy, but that shoulder block or shoulder tackle didn't really work out for Kurt. Certainly way too close. But look at Styles. He's barely moving. He has not survived that Styles Clash we saw just moments ago here live on Raw. Oh, Styles getting double teamed here. This is not going to work in Styles' favor. No, look at this gut wrench. Oh no, Styles able to slip out of it. And now Styles going to go to work on that right knee. Or I should say that left knee actually. But certainly this is the type of matchup you love to see. Very physical and definitely warranted with everything that these teams have really gone through. Especially in the tag team division. That certainly has heated up. Especially these last couple months, we've seen Imperium, the O.C., Alpha Academy all jockeying for position. The O.C. eventually would knock off Imperium, and then Alpha Academy would eventually win in a triple threat matchup those Raw Tag Team Championships. Then, in a number one contenders matchup, the O.C. would knock off Imperium. And this is how the O.C. will be challenging Alpha Academy for those Raw Tag Team Championships. So there's certainly a lot of stuff brewing in this tag team division. And that's what you absolutely love to see, as Anderson with a brutal spine buster there, but Kurt Angle right there to break it up. Not going to allow Chad Gable to go down like that. As down goes Kurt Anderson, looking to put the final touches of this matchup here. Chad Gable has to be very careful here not to allow Karl Anderson to put the final touches of this matchup, to hit a brutal running kick to the face, or this certainly could be game over. It's a vicious knee there from Karl Anderson. But ladies and gentlemen, still to come tonight, Roman Reigns takes on The Undertaker as a cutter there out of nowhere from Karl Anderson. 2, 3, the O.C. pick up the win over Alpha Academy, and Kurt Angle cannot believe it. A little bit slow at the end. Kurt Angle is still dealing with the maneuver he suffered by Karl Anderson. As we go through the highlights of this match, a lot of back and forth. Let's look at that spine buster. That's where Kurt Angle would break it up. But right here, look at this cutter out of nowhere. Kurt Angle finally going to get up to his feet just briefly in the right-hand corner of your screen, but just too little, too late. And the O.C. picks up the win. Will that be the scene this Sunday? Will the O.C. walk out with the Raw Tag Team Championships, and will Styles once again put down Angle? Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your main event of the evening. A matchup that everyone is looking forward to. You have the Dead Man, the Undertaker, making his way down to the ring. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, a non-title matchup. How will the World Heavyweight Champion deal with the Undertaker? Undertaker, part of the Wyatt family. It's Undertaker, Kane, the Viking Raiders, Alexa Bliss, and certainly are looking to continue the legacy of what Bray Wyatt brought to the table. We all certainly believe Bray Wyatt was going to lead the future into everything that he brought to the table. But as we, mourn the loss, we do have to move on, unfortunately. But this new Wyatt family will do everything to the best of their abilities to make sure that they do everything that was best for Bray Wyatt. And certainly The Undertaker would love to put Roman Reigns in his place, because coming up this Sunday in a tag team matchup, it is the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker, taking on the Bloodline Zone, the Usos. But this matchup is a no count-out matchup. Pinfall or submission has to happen in the middle of that ring. And certainly it's all stemming from last week's matchup where the Usos won against the Viking Raiders by countout. And Undertaker's like, hey, you know what? When we were tag team back in the early 2000s, we won by pinfall and submission. We didn't allow count-out victories. And certainly The Undertaker has mentioned plenty of times about retiring at this year's WrestleMania. Last WrestleMania was up against Sting. Only could imagine what this year's WrestleMania will be looking like. Will he have a title matchup? Could he have, another marquee matchup? Not for a title, doesn't have to be for a championship, but you never know what we go from here, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting so close to the grounds of Survivor Series, ladies and gentlemen, and we all know that's where Survivor Series for The Undertaker, that is where he debuted back in the early 1990s. So certainly Roman Reigns, or I should say The Undertaker, has so much to still bring over this next year, as we are relatively getting closer to WrestleMania season. But the first major stop will be Survivor Series, but we haven't gotten that far yet. The next Raw pay-per-view is this Sunday at Backlash, and this man, Roman Reigns, is in action against his own family, Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns is the second ever Mr. King of the Ring, with that being Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns is second ever being that, and both men have held that World Heavyweight Championship. But will this be the last time we see Roman Reigns hold on to that World Heavyweight Championship? Will it be time to already crown a new World Heavyweight Champion? Will that be the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa? Is he ready? Roman believes he is not ready. Roman Reigns believes that Solo Sikoa will take over the bloodline one day, but it is just not his turn just yet. But if it's not Solo's time this Sunday, when exactly will it be his time? I think Roman Reigns wants Solo to take some more time. He even mentioned it when they were face to face before that. Roman said, hey, go after and take that United States Championship, or take that United Kingdom Championship and carry that for a very long time. Solidify yourself as even more dangerous threat. I mean, Solo Sikoa, imagine that United States Championship around his waist, or even that United Kingdom Championship. Anything is very well possible, ladies and gentlemen. But it is all about tribal combat coming up this Sunday. Family versus family, with that World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Certainly not what we were expecting at all, but that is what we are getting. And when Roman asked, he offered an ultimatum to Solo Sikoa as well. He said, hey, to Solo, he's like, hey, you got two options. Either you can give up your opportunity and have someone else fight for my World Heavyweight Championship, or we can have tribal combat. And Solo didn't even have to wait. He said tribal combat. And that's what really pissed off Roman Reigns, and then that's what we heard, that rant from Roman Reigns going off on Solo. And Roman's told Solo, you better not come back after I beat you, coming back with excuses or whatnot. It's going to be fair and square. And in a tribal combat matchup, ladies and gentlemen, that means no family whatsoever can come out and interfere in this matchup. So obviously that's the Usos, obviously The Rock, any family member. Referee ringing the bell. Here we go. The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns in a non-title matchup. Earlier on tonight we saw Undertaker's brother Kane losing to Jey Uso, and after the matchup Jimmy and Jey would decimate Kane and literally beat the living crap out of him, which you hate to see. And I think if Undertaker was out there, that wouldn't have happened. I think Taker would have had his back of his brother Kane, but certainly I don't know why the Undertaker wasn't out there. I'm not going to ask him. Certainly he probably believes that Kane can handle himself. He doesn't have to babysit his brother. But certainly he should have been out there for him, but I digress. But now we focus back on this matchup. Roman Reigns certainly want to walk in with momentum, and obviously same with the Undertaker. This is all about getting that big win heading into the pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. It's going to be one hell of a matchup here. As oh, look at the submission hold here. The Undertaker trying to make him tap out here early on. But Taker, this is way too much early on for Roman Reigns to try and put him away, but it will definitely, I would say it would definitely help him out. Trying to just slow him down. As Taker gets hit with a devastating clothesline in the corner. Undertaker was trying to get the crowd behind him. As wait a minute. Roman Reigns signaling the end is near. Looking for that spear, but the big knee strike from the Undertaker. I think Roman Reigns was trying to end this matchup very, very early so that he wouldn't have to worry about maybe not being 100% with his matchup with Solo Sikoa. As wait a minute. Taker has him up. Tombstone pile driver to the World Heavyweight Champion. Is that enough? But Roman Reigns, big long legs there, surviving this matchup a little bit longer with the rope break. Roman about to get hit with this big time choke slam. But Taker now realizing it, and now Taker gonna go for the tombstone once again. Tombstone pile driver. This has to be it. That's the second one of the matchup, but another rope break again, saving the day for Roman Reigns. And you can see on the face of the Undertaker, he can just not believe it. But for Taker, he's been in this business for so long, he should recognize the positioning when he hits these type of maneuvers. You gotta be very focused, especially in these big time matches. He's focused to an extent, but you just gotta see, like, okay, I'm hitting this tombstone. I need to readjust my body real quick and hit it towards the middle of the ring where Roman can't go on and hit it. As Undertaker coming back in the ring now, Roman. Look at this. Almost like a guillotine of sorts, trying to make Undertaker tap out. A lot of submission-oriented offense here in this matchup, besides that spear earlier on that was missed by Roman Reigns. And now we are at a stalemate from both men. Taker connects with a DDT, and look at Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's certainly going to try to make sure Roman Reigns walks out with a victory as soon as possible. As Roman Reigns with a Superman punch. Reigns now. Spear to the Undertaker. Is that gonna be it? 2. No. Taker kicks out, and Reigns cannot believe it. There is a steel chair introduced by Paul Heyman, but referee not going to allow anything nonchalant to happen in this matchup. Not going to allow any disqualifications like that to occur. Or even if the referee doesn't have eye on the action. As Undertaker working on that left knee, that is not going to be feeling too good, and you got to be feeling that Solo Sikoa was watching this matchup very, very closely backstage. And now this is where Undertaker is going to systematically destroy Roman Reigns. Work on the limbs as much as he can, especially when Roman Reigns likes to go for those spears and those other powerful maneuvers. Undertaker and Paul Heyman going back and forth. These two have a history, ladies and gentlemen. We all know about the past of Paul Heyman and the Undertaker back in the day, WrestleMania 30, where Paul Heyman was managing Brock Lesnar, and they would go on to defeat the streak, be the 1 in 21-1. And certainly Taker has a lot of fed upness between himself and Paul Heyman, as now Tombstone Pile Driver once again. Will that be enough? Is there a rope break? Yes, there is. I think it's the left foot that is saving the day of Roman Reigns this time again. And I think Undertaker just is not able to really... I mean, that was literally the closest to the bottom rope that I really think that should have been not called that, as Roman getting out of a possible chokeslam. Roman Reigns now trying to set up into the corner here. Taker now up to his feet. Here we go. Big time Superman punch again. We saw this earlier. And another spear this time around. That Superman punch spear combo. Is it enough this time? Yes, it is. I think this matchup, if we didn't have rope breaks or anything like this, I think the Undertaker wins. But towards the end of the matchup, Roman Reigns able to outlast the Undertaker with those spears, the Superman punch spear combos. And Roman Reigns picks up the win tonight over the dead man, the Undertaker. How will Roman Reigns fare this Sunday when he faces his own blood, the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa? And look at Roman Reigns still celebrating and his win. And there's the Enforcer, ladies and gentlemen. He is here, and he does not seem too happy, ladies and gentlemen. This is not too good. He grabbed his crown and everything, and Roman is not backing down, ladies and gentlemen. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa. You can feel the tension in the air between both men right here, right now. Are you kidding me? Roman Reigns taking out the Enforcer. Roman Reigns is pissed off. Roman Reigns picked up the win over the Undertaker, was celebrating with his championship, his crown, and everything. And now he's beating the living hell out of Solo, but now Solo fighting back. What in the hell are we witnessing here? We're going to see tribal combat, but it seems like it's breaking down here early between both men. As now Roman fighting back. And again, both men fighting back and forth. Wait a minute, Solo's got him. Solo's got him. Spike. He's just spiked Roman Reigns. Holy cow. What a way to end Monday Night Raw.